song, recorded by Elvis Presley. I will spend my whole life through loving you, just loving you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Winter,
please stand.
Summer, springtime too. Loving you, loving you makes no difference where I go or what I do. You know that I'll always be loving you, just you. If I'm seen with someone new, don't be blue, no, don't be blue. I'll be faithful, I'll be true, always true, true to you. There is only one for me, and you know who. You know that I'll always be loving you.
After the clouds, the sunshine. After the winter, the spring. After the shower, the rainbow. For life is a changeable thing. After the night, the morning, bidding all darkness cease. After life's cares and sorrows, the comfort and sweetness of peace. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jesse, and I have been honoured with the privilege of conducting this funeral service for the life of Lois Elaine Smith. It was Lois's wish that proceedings here today be simple and sincere, and it's my privilege to play just a small part in honouring that request. It was important to her that her funeral ceremony should reflect who she was, a down-to-earth, loving person devoted to her family. We have come together from different places, and we are all at different stages on our journey through life. Our paths are varied, and we look at life in different ways. But there is one thing that we all have in common. At one point or another, and to some degree or another, our lives have touched the life of Lois. So today we put aside our usual activities and gather here to give expression to the thoughts and feelings that well up in us at this time. A funeral takes a team of people who work together in creating a ceremony, and with me today are Simon and Callie and Ian, and as the staff of Parkside Funerals, we are privileged to have been entrusted with the care of Lois following her death and conducting her service here at Parkside. At the conclusion of this service, Lois's family warmly invite you to join them for a cuppa and a chat at Two Oaks in Somerset as you continue in remembering her life. Just a reminder too, if you haven't done so already, to please either switch off or silence your mobile phones, as this time belongs to Lois. I'd also like to welcome those who are unable to be with us here in the chapel today, particularly friends and relatives on the mainland, and are joining us via live stream. Your presence is equally felt and very much appreciated. Our time together is an opportunity to share memories of the life and personality that was Lois, an independent, kind, compassionate woman whose strength and determination were evident throughout her life. Lois was an adoring wife to the late Donald Smith, best known as Donnie, a cherished mother to Royce and Megan, a deeply appreciated mother-in-law to Lisa and Warwick, a treasured nan to Brooke and Brandon, Abby Jean, Oakley, Lachlan and Braden, and a great nan to Rory. A devoted daughter of the late Zernie and Ted Hazelwood, and a dear elder sister to Joan and twins Lynn, deceased, and Marie. An auntie, a cousin, and a friend. On behalf of all of her family, I'd like to thank each of you gathered here for your love, support, and friendship shown to both them and to Lois. At this time of loss, people feel a special affinity for poetry. We yearn to express and memorialise our feelings. The act of composing or reciting a poem helps us reconnect, not just to the one we lost, but to our own feelings. Producing a poem, and particularly reading it out loud, says, I deeply value my relationship with you. I want to honour it with words that signify effort, emotion, and love. My poem to and for you takes our relationship out of the ordinary language of our time together. It is my way of transcending our earthly bonds. And I'd like to invite Brooke forward now, Lois's granddaughter, to share with us a poem she and the family have selected for her nan, A Silent Tear. Thanks, Brooke.
So this poem is called A Silent Tear. Thanks. Just close your eyes and you will see all the memories that you have of me. Just sit and relax and you will find I'm really still there inside your mind. Don't cry for me, now I'm gone, for I am in the land of song. There is no pain, there is no fear, so dry away that silent tear. Don't think of me in the dark and cold, for here I am, no longer old. I'm in the place that's filled with love, known to you all as up above.
Thank you, Brooke. A beautiful tribute. Those we love are never truly gone. They live in treasured memories. They live in the hearts of those whose lives they have touched and shared along the way. Your sadness today comes out of caring and out of love. My role today is more of a warm-up act for the main event that Alex will bring very shortly. So it's my very great honour now to give you just a brief summary of Lois's life, and then I'll pass over to Alex for the good stuff. Lois Elaine Hazelwood was born the eldest of 4 girls to parents Zernie and Ted on the 8th of August 1943 in Launceston. Next was Joan, and then twins Lynn and Marie. Their early years were spent in Hagley on Hazelbrae, the family farm. They attended the Hagley Farm School, and Lois stayed on all the way to finish grade 10. Upon finishing school, Lois began work at the Wesley Hagley store. Initially, she would commute to and from work via pushbike before saving enough to upgrade to a step-through scooter. However, if it was raining, she would borrow the family car. Being the eldest, Lois took on a lot of responsibility at home, whether it be milking cows or driving the tractor before and after work, caring for her sisters, and assisting her parents financially. Being much too busy for boys up until this point, after turning 23, Lois met the love of her life, Don, through Don's sister, Lynn, who had been a teacher at the Hagley Farm School. Theirs was something of a whirlwind romance, and within 6 months they were engaged and later married on the 17th of February 1963. Lois moved with Don to Renison Bell and then rented a house in Zeehan, while Don built a home for them in Leaventhorpe Street. Although she has insisted that Don had put the nails in the wrong way in the kitchen cupboards. After some time settling into their new life together, they welcomed Royce in 1972, and later Megan in 1974, and their family was complete. Once the kids were old enough, unable to sit still, Lois returned to work at the Zeehan Medical Union, then the Zeehan Hardware Store, and then became partners in the Zeehan Museum coffee shop before becoming the sole owner and operating under her sound leadership for over 20 years. In 1994, Lois retired from work in Zeehan and moved to the farm, their dream home in Granville Harbour. But that's enough for me. I'd like to invite good friend Alex Simpson forward now to take over and regale us with the tale of Lois Smith. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, mate. Thank you. All yours.
Cheers. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And what I must admit, a beautiful day that it is today. Perseverance, humility, stoicism, a loving mother and nan, sharp-witted, balanced, loyal, tolerant, stubborn, and hard-working are a few of the words that come to mind when one thinks about Lois Smith. But the underlying essence of Lois was her straightforward, pragmatic approach to life, her self-confidence that allowed her to always have the last word, and her ability to command respect. Now, sometimes that command of respect was subtle, sometimes humorous. Sometimes it was not so subtle. Sometimes it was just meant for family, and sometimes it was just meant for the Telstra or the Aurora man. But it was always trademark Lois Smith. Lois's ability to do things and express herself her way was legendary. Now, one particular Mother's Day, and I stress Mother's Day, Lois and Don were in Burnie, and Don had to get back to the farm to fix a dozer. Due to a big session the night before, Lois ended up being the designated driver. Now, as Lois was driving the car back through Tulla, she was pulled over for speeding, and she was absolutely not happy at all for being pulled over by the cop. After the cop gave her the speeding ticket, she leant out the window and said to him, "Disgraceful. You should be home with your mother on Mother's Day." Needless to say, old Donnie never lived that one down. Lois was also a big fan of Royce and particularly his motorbike racing, and I would say she was possibly his biggest fan. She was a very loud spectator, and people knew to look out for her if they messed with Royce. During the Australian Enduro Championship, Royce called into the pits and got Lois to grab the throttle on his bike to keep the bike revving whilst he made some urgent repairs. Now, this was absolutely against the rules to have any assistance, and a marshal, who hadn't met Lois, rushed over and told her, "I'm sorry, it's not allowed." Lois was suitably unimpressed, and with one hand on the throttle, proceeded to tell the marshal where he could stick his rule book and that he had very little prospect in life. No other marshals said a word. Lois's loyalty and love of Don had no bounds. But her sharp wit, very, very long memory, and perseverance meant that she would usually have the last laugh or get even if Don or the family pushed it just that little bit too far. One day, Don called into the Renison pub and proceeded to have one too many, I guess, as usual. Lois called up Goose, where are you, Goose? There you are, mate, yep. So Lois called up Goose, a good friend, to come with her and pick him up to avoid having to, so Lois didn't have to go into the bar. Now Goose did what he was told and he went into the bar, but he didn't come out. Lois sat in the car for hours, and to say she was not impressed was probably a mild understatement. The next day, Don had to go out bush at about 7 a.m. and wait for a float to pick up his dozer. However, Lois had taken the message the day before that the truck would not be there until 7 hours later at 2 p.m. So she conveniently didn't pass this on. So Don got up, got out of bed, sparrows, absolutely buggered, hung over, and went out at the crack of dawn with no food or water, because he thought, I'll only be there a little while, to wait for the float expected at 7 a.m. 7 hours later, the float turned up, and Don was informed that Lois was briefed and hadn't passed it on. Pure Lois, simple but effective. Donnie used to call Lois the potato peeler until she put a stop to it, and I can just imagine what that day would have been like. But her love for him, as I stated, was boundless, and she looked after Don for as long as she could and kept him on his beloved farm for years after he was diagnosed with dementia. She did a remarkable job and only had a few moments of self-doubt in her ability to manage things whilst he was going through the latter stages of dementia, like when Don decided to take a bite out of a cake of soap or ate a dog schmacker. When Lois moved to the West Coast, she played badminton. I never knew that. And it's funny, no one else knew. But she said she'd won an award for badminton for her prowess on the court. However, no one ever saw the trophy, and Lois never conveniently produced it. She loved dancing and used to attend dances at the Whitemore Hall in her younger days. She also loved a cabaret and was a regular on the West Coast dance scene. One time, as Lois and Don were leaving a dance, someone challenged Don to scull a jug of beer for a sum of money. Now, much to Lois's dismay, Don had already had a skinful and he accepted the challenge. As Don began to scull, Lois started yelling and thumping him with a handbag. She did this for the entire jug. Don somehow completed the challenge and won the money, and Don said it was the hardest beer he'd ever had in his life. Lois subsequently became involved in debutante balls in Zion and taught the young Debs how to dance and use their handbags for compliance. Don wasn't the greatest dancer, I beg your pardon, in Zion, and could only do the foxtrot, but he soon learnt when it was time to go home. Lois supported her family from an early age, particularly when she was at school, being the eldest by some years. She not only helped out on the farm before and after school, but when she started work, she helped out her parents and sisters financially, as elder siblings often are sought to do. One year, Lois paid for two of her sisters, Lynn and Joan, to go on a school excursion. For some reason, Lois didn't pay for the other sister, Marie, who was obviously the naughty one at the time. This support continued right through, and particularly for her mum, and she did look after Marie as well. Lois ran the Heritage Centre coffee shop for years, and it was so good it became a focus for multiple bus tours visiting Zion. Now, unlike Don, Lois didn't drink. She did get drunk once, however, and the next day a hangover was that bad she thought she was going to die, and she never drank again. I think I've been there. Don definitely made up for her abstinence. Now, when Brooke, Abby Jean and Oakley were in primary school, Lois used to help Lisa and Royce by taking the kids either into school in Zion from Granville Farm or by picking them up from Zion and bringing them back out to the farm. One day when the kids were on their way to school with Lois, they met Warwick on the gravel road as he was heading into work at the farm. Now Lois stopped, backed up to let Warwick pass, and he actually pulled up alongside her so they could have a bit of a chat. After talking to him for a bit, Lois went to take off but forgot that she'd left the car in reverse. Now, after reversing suddenly and whilst careening backwards, Lois immediately slammed the car into drive and put the boot in, resulting in an extremely well-executed and timed burnout. It was her first one. She never said a word about it, but the kids were nearly beside themselves in the back, trying not to laugh. Now, Lois, like a lot of country mums, bore the brunt of active kids, and she had to use a little bit of native cunning to keep the mob in line. Sometimes she won, sometimes the kids won. Now, Royce and Megan, it was pretty standard. They'd fight usually every morning before school. And Royce would try and trap Megan in one of the rooms by stacking chairs up. Lois would walk in on this and quite calmly move the chairs back and walk away. Royce would then continue to try his luck and do it again and again and again. Lois knew when he wouldn't stop, so when she'd have enough, she would simply say, "You just wait till your father gets home," at which stage all the chairs had stopped moving. One day, Royce bought some fake snot. Think about it. And as the school bus pulled up to drop him off near home, where Lois was waiting to pick him up, he said to his mates, "Watch this," and proceeded to put the fake snot on his nose, and he got off the bus. Lois took one look at him, disgusted, gets the hanky out and proceeded to wipe his nose, much to the amusement of the whole bus. Poor Lois. This is what she had to put up with. She used to have a bit of a flutter at the pokies occasionally, and Royce and Don decided to stir her up one day and convinced her that they'd looked her up on the internet and that she was in the top 10 people in Australia playing the pokies. And to this day, no one's quite sure if she worked out whether it was BS or not. Now, one day, Lois actually bought a $2 Keno quick pick in Zion. She was lucky, as usual, and she had a major win. Megan caught up with her celebrating with a cappuccino at the Heemskirk Hotel because she didn't drink. Now, much to Megan's disappointment, Lois, not being one for fanfare, had told them to send the cheque to home. So Megan missed out on the limo ride to Launceston Casino to pick up the winnings. Royce, being Royce, however, saw this win as an opportunity. And when Lois got home, he walked over to her house and on the way in the paddock, picked a daisy out of the paddock. And when the door opened, he said, "Mum, I love you." He then gave her the daisy and said, "How'd you like to buy a wood truck? We can call it Lois's lorry and I promise I'll pay you back." Lois bought the truck and Royce, as promised, paid her back. Lois loved watching tennis. She had a soft spot for Ash Barty and never a kind word for Djokovic. She was a big Essendon and James Hird, aka James Baby, supporter, and she coached them well while watching. She also loved watching the Bathurst 1000 and was a great team manager for Craig Lowndes. She loved Craig's smile. Amongst all of this, Lois was a handbag and shoe lover, and Don used to call her Imelda Marcos. When Lois bought new shoes, grandson Lachlan often used to go with her. She used to wear the new shoes out of the shop and change back into Old Faithfuls 2 doors down at the newsagent. Lois would always buy her new dresses at Cherie Marshall's dress shop in Launceston. They used to ring her up and let her know when they had stock that suited her. This always prompted an urgent trip to Launceston. They even had a chair set up outside the shop for Don to sit on because he wasn't going into the shop to give her a hand. We're fairly sure that she single-handedly funded Cherie's retirement. She loved getting her hair done, and I do remember that quite vividly. And nobody but Vicky could do it properly. She followed Vicky across the west coast from Rosebery to Strahan to Zeehan, and then finally to Tulloch, where Vicky retired. Lois and Don travelled around Australia to visit family, beef cattle expos, as well as agricultural trips that they did to America. Don used to take photos of Lois standing next to huge things like tractors, bulls, headers and trucks to show off the scale of them. I think Lois knew the game that was being played, but she smiled regardless. Lois was also involved in the Senior Citizens Club, local bingo, Tasmanian Women in Agriculture and the Zeehan Neighbourhood Centre. Lois Smith will be remembered as a stalwart, a stoic woman of conviction who was loyal to a T and carried with her a love for family that was absolutely unwavering. She had the confidence and conviction to speak her mind when needed and the ability to do it with few words and great meaning. Regardless of the company, Lois Smith always garnered respect and admiration. Above all, she nurtured and built a great family who have earned the respect of everyone in this room. Lois Smith, you remarkable woman, thank you for all you have taught us and the good times we have all shared together. Always remembered, may you rest in peace.
Beautifully done, mate. Thank you. I'd now like to invite Lois's sisters, Joan and Marie, forward now. Joan will share with us a tribute that she has put together, and Marie has selected a poem to read for us. Thanks, ladies.
Okay. Losing a sister means saying goodbye to someone who walked beside you through life's early chapters. While living on the farm at Hagley, Lois took on the role of being Dad's farmhand. Did she have a choice, being the first of 4 girls? She worked at the Hagley General Store. Her mode of transport to get there was her pride and joy, her Honda scooter. I have memories of her going off to work on that scooter through whatever weather, but I've since found out she cheated. She drove the car in wet. Lois will be remembered for her caring nature. She was extremely family orientated and very proud of all her achievements. Her greatest achievement, I believe, was caring for her Donnie until it was beyond her. A family reunion, planned for next month will have a vacant seat on that bus. I'm sure that many a tale will be told over those couple of days, and while that vacant seat will be silent, it will be smiling. Rest easy, Lois, and you are now reunited with your Don.
We'd like to share a short poem. It's written by David Harkins. It's called She's Gone.
Yep. You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she'll come back, or you can open your eyes and see all she's left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of love you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she's gone, or you can cherish her memories and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what you'd want. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on. I loved her. We never had a fight, by the way. Can't remember one. Thanks.
Thank you, ladies. Beautifully done. We talk about her because we're proud. We talk about her because she deserves to be remembered. We talk about her because even though she's now not with us, she is never far from our mind. We talk about her because she is part of us, a part that we could never ignore. We talk about her because we love her still and always will. We've heard stories about Lois's life through spoken word. And now I'd like to bring your attention to the screens as we watch some moments of her life in photographs. Thank you.
I'm only human. I'm just a woman. Help me believe in all I should be and all that I am. Show me the stairway that I have to climb. Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do everything that I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Do you remember when you walked among men? Well, Jesus, you know, if you're looking below, what's worse now than then? They're pushing and shoving, it's crowding my mind. Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do everything that I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time. say love, it is a flower, and you, it's only seed. It's the heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's the dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It's the one who won't be taken, who cannot seem to give, and the soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. When the night has been too lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose.
You'll notice in your service sheet today that there are two readings. Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd," and the Lord's Prayer. Both were selected by Lois herself, to some surprise by her family. While it was not something she often spoke about outwardly, it was clearly part of her foundation. In the Christian tradition, there is a simple belief that those we love are not separated from us forever, but only for a time. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And in respect and appreciation to her upbringing, and if you feel so inclined, can I invite you to please share with me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. The time we spend here in this chapel is all about being human and expressing the unsettling mix of emotions and responses. Tears are human. Smiles are human. Hugs and warmth are human. Laughter, agreement in things shared in common, all part of who we are. And at the heart of it all, in our meditation and our words, the humanness of Lois. We gather to celebrate what made her tick, her individuality, her character, habits and quirks. Out of the gifts, abilities and ambiguities within her, she reached out her hand and her heart and contributed. And she has left something in you. What you take of that and do with it is up to you. But in this brief time together, it reminds us of how good it is to be in relationship, to have love and friendship, and to see so much evidence in how Lois lived her life, and that the opportunity to live and create is a fabulous gift. Lois was a battler, fiercely independent and strong as they come. While the last few months have been tough, both for her and her family, she remains steadfast, determined to fight on and regain her independence. And while there were times where it seemed she may be improving, they were unfortunately not to last. To you, Lois's family, I would like to pay tribute to the courage, love and care that you showed her, especially as her health declined. You still gave your best to her, and you still wanted what was best for her. And that is the measure of a true and deep love. And now that she's gone, you will still feel an enormous sense of loss, along with the relief that her suffering has ended. You will never lose the memories that you have of her. You will always be grateful for all that her life has meant to you. You will always tell your children, and your children's children, of their heritage in this strong woman, and the stories of her unique character. You have lost a large part of your lives in losing Lois. But just as she would have been proud of all you've achieved so far in your lives, she would want you to go on to live, laugh and love, and to rejoice in the gift of life. We know that Lois's spirit and her living made a difference and will continue to do so, as long as each of you remember her in your hearts and carry her lessons of her life with you. You are now the representatives and custodians of her legacy. She gave you wonderful gifts of kindness, graciousness, strength, acceptance, and love. She showed you how to live with a strong and positive heart and how to be thankful for everything that you have. Cherish it always. And so what we're essentially doing today is putting away Lois's body. We deeply respect her body because it's what her parents gave her, and it carried around her spirit, her character, herself, her being for 82 years. But now the thing that drove her eyes and the thing that gave us her smile, the thing that made her ride her Honda scooter and dance and swing her handbag at dawn and mow her lawns at 80, the thing that knew you and let us know her, the thing that enlivened her body, has gone. It'll never be completely lost to us, however, because we all have a little bit of it stuck inside us. We'll always think a bit like Lois. We'll act a bit like Lois. And we'll laugh at the same things, and we'll probably cry a bit from time to time because of Lois. She'll visit us in our dreams, and we'll think we overheard her voice in a crowd, and tears may form, but so will a smile. We'll smile the smile of someone who's had the honour of having known Lois. And now she remains, locked up inside us, warm in our hearts and safe in our love. Let her rest there. Let her ride with you. Take her away with you today and remember what moved you about her. Be stronger for her. Be better. Be kinder. Your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your auntie, your friend, your Lois. Go in peace now, Lois. Supported and nurtured by all those who love you, welcomed and received by Donnie and all those who have gone before you. Be strong, be free, and be proud of who you have been. know that you will be mourned and missed, that no one can replace you, and that you have loved and that you are loved. And so it's with love and gratitude that we now commit all these fond memories to be locked away in our hearts as we gently yield your body to its end with nature. We celebrate you, we honour you, but most of all we pay tribute to that consistent love and support that you always showed so willingly to your family and to your friends. Just as there is a sunrise, there must also be a sunset. Lois Elaine Smith, tenderly and reverently, we give your body to nature's elements, and ultimately to the precious earth, from which all things come, and to which, in the end, all things in life return. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, at the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we will remember you. In the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, in the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, you will be with us. As long as we can dream, as long as we can think, as long as we have memories, we will love you. As long as there is time, and as long as there is love, and as long as we have the breath to speak your name, we will love you. Ladies and gentlemen, can I invite you to please stand as we escort Lois from the chapel? Thank you.
God be with you till we meet again. By his counsels guide uphold you. With his sheep securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again. Till we meet, till we meet, till we meet at Jesus' feet.
Jesus' feet.
Till we meet, till we meet. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. Neath his wings protecting hide you. Daily manna still